Good morning. So I was just watching a Wrath of Math. It's a video channel, a YouTube channel. Wrath of Math. I like to watch it because, it does weird, interesting investigations of math stuff. So today's episode was all about Euclid and the fifth, I think it is, one of his postulates regarding parallel lines and how the definition is weird and people got ish. And so I was thinking about that the other day, this parallel line problem. And I thought, like, a definition that I think that works in 2D perfectly and actually becomes very interesting in higher dimensions is that we define parallel lines, and I'm going to draw crappy parallel lines, but if we just obey the definition, it makes sense. Parallel lines are any two lines which maintain a constant distance from each other. Therefore, they will never cross. They can't ever cross because they have to maintain a specific constant distance from each other. Very simple definition. I think it will work for forever. Like in all 2D models, it even allows for curved lines to be parallel by maintaining a constant distance from each other like this. Even though these are wobbly, they pretty much maintain a constant distance from each other. Therefore, they are parallel. But what becomes interesting is that those are two parallel lines, which is cool because actually what parallel becomes is laminar. And if you applied it in a higher dimension, so we're going to now imagine that this is a strand, instead not a line on 2D, but a strand in 3D space. So you can have a helix that maintains a constant distance from the other line. And it's a helical path. And I guess you could define that like lines must have the same identical lengths as well to prevent this kind of cheatiness. But I think this is a really interesting cheatiness in that this is essentially defines again, lamination of a sort. Because when one thing is in relation to another and there's like a cohort, like all of these are not parallel because I'm going a squirrel, but let's just imagine they are. When we have a cohort of parallel vectors, and parallel is defined by my definition of parallel, there is no convergence, there is no divergence, but there's a maintained distance from each other. And now it would become like laminar flow could be like this, like in a river. Parallel is laminar, and now it becomes sort of like a definition that we can apply as both Euclid's parallel and a wider laminar. And maybe probably somebody else thought of it, but I just thought of it now, so I thought I'd tell you because I thought, oh wait, that's a cool thing that even if this was just going around and around and around and around and around and around there, it's maintaining its distance. And this is creating by its constancy a sort of boundary of repetition. I don't know. Just thoughts in the morning. Anyways, peace out.